Good morning and welcome to day 32 of 365 Days of Stories with Theo Mayer. I am continuing the story of two men and a carpenter. And remember, the two men had gotten an argument. They were like brothers. They'd gotten an argument about a calf that had been born. And, they were both claiming ownership of that calf. And so where did they go from there? Stormed off, angry with each other, and kind of retreated into their own homes for the night. They sat up all night brooding. And the one brother got up very early in the morning, before the sun had come up, but with enough light to see. And he went out to the Quonset hut that he had where he kept his machinery, and he got onto his backhoe. And he went out and he began to dig a trench across the land between their two homes. And he was so angry that he wanted to create a division, a boundary between their two places. Now, the other one had kind of gotten to the point by the morning where it was like, oh, this stuff happens, and it's amazing that it just happened to us, but this isn't worth it. And we can make all this right and keep going on. I mean, he's like my brother. And so he went out and he'd heard that, the machine running, and he went out and saw this trench being dug, and it just set him off, made him quite angry to see that this was going on now. Well, he went back into the house and was just now sitting down trying to figure out how to get back at, his friend, not a friend anymore, his brother, not a brother anymore, just an enemy that he needed to go out and attack in one way or another. Well, it turned out that there was a wandering carpenter, and this carpenter happened to be traveling through that part of the land, and he was going door to door asking people if he could do any work. And he showed up at the one man's house who was sitting there trying to figure out how to seek revenge on, his once good friend. And he's like, man, gotta do something. And here's this knock on the door, and he goes to the door and it's like, yes, hello. What can I do for you? He was generally a nice guy, but you know how it is when you're triggered and a little bit angry. It's like you can come off like not quite like, your regular, beautiful person that you are. It's like, well, that darkness comes in and anyway, he greets the guy at the door, but not in the nicest ways. And the carpenter's like, hey, I'm looking for work here. I do really beautiful carpentry work, and of any kind. I can, build a deck, build a house, build a fence, build whatever. Let me know. Do you have anything that needs to be done? Fence. When the man heard fence, he'd gotten it. He was like, now I know what to do. I'm going to build a fence. That'll be all I need to do. So he told the carpenter, I do have a project. I have a whole bunch of wood, and I would like to have a fence built right along that trench that's being dug. If you could do that, that would be great. By this time, his once friend was quite a ways along with the trench. So the carpenter says, okay, great. I see, yeah, just show me the wood pile. I'll get going, and, I'll need some nails. And the rest, I've got all my tools. So the man took him out to the wood pile and showed him this beautifully milled wood, and he got started working out. Once the man had instructed the carpenter what to do and how to build the fence and how he wanted it. And he didn't really care. He just wanted a fence. He was like, I'm going to town. I got to get out of here. He just couldn't really deal with, the whole energy of it all. And so he took off, went into town, figured he'd go to the coffee shop and have a cup of coffee and hopefully talk to some other people and forget about what was going on until it was done. Well, hours passed, and finally he's coming back, and it's it's about dinner time. He's walking along and to the road that to his house and to their place. Anyway, he's walking along there, and up the road comes his once good friend. He's like running toward him, and at first he's like, oh my God, this is going to be trouble. He comes running up, and suddenly he sees that he's got a smile on his face and, open arm. He just comes up and hugs him. Just, oh my God, I can't believe, this all just happened. It's like, you are so incredibly wise. And I have behaved in such a horrible manner, and I'm so sorry. It's like our friendship has been everything to me through all these years. It's like the love that we share, the life that we shared with each other. It's more important than anything. I don't care about the calf or the cows or anything. It's like, I don't know what I would do without you in my world. And thank you. Thank you so much. And the other man, he doesn't know what's going on. He's like, okay. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And in arm, they just start walking back toward their houses. And their houses were pretty close. You could, except now there was a trench between them. But, you could see from one house to the other. In fact, you could stand on the porch and call out, across, hey, I'm having some pancakes. Come over for breakfast. Coffee's made. Or whatever, whatever. So they're walking back, and as they're walking back, the one man who'd hired the carpenter is like, he doesn't see a fence at all. And he's like, what's going on here? And he doesn't say anything intelligently. He walks along, and what does he see? Instead of a fence, he sees a bridge. And it all comes around to him. Anyway, the two men, they just hug and, love each other a little more, say kind things to each other. And the one goes off to his place. The other, comes up, and there on his porch is the carpenter. And the man is like, God, thank you. Thank you. You saved my friendship. I don't know what to tell you. It's like you're a messenger. It's like you're an angel. Thank you for saving my friendship. I don't know. Thank you. All I can say is thank you. And I've got other work, would you be willing to stick around a while and help us? We've got lots that could be done. The carpenter, he smiles and he said, it's no problem. But, if I could spend the night, out in the barn, that'd be great. And maybe have dinner with you. That'd be awesome. And then in the morning, I need to be on my way, though. Oh, no, please, could you please, really stay even if, a few days. You don't even have to work. Anyway, they settled up with money, and then Carpenter said, thanks so much, but, I got to get going because there's other bridges to build. And that is the story of two men and a carpenter. How great to have people like that in our world that know how to build bridges between people. How to bridge the gap when there's disharmony and anger, conflict. Maybe we could all be bridge builders and reflect on how important it is to have beautiful relationships, not just with people that we love, but with everybody. What a different world it could be if that were the case. Okay? get out there, build some bridges. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Thanks for joining, and hope to see you tomorrow.